I don't know your name. I don't know where you are right now. Maybe you're lying in bed with your phone above your face, or maybe you're somewhere quiet, just needing to hear something that feels warm. I don't know what your day looked like, or if it was hard, or if you cried earlier and no one noticed. But I want you to know something, and I need you to really hear this. I thought about you. Even without knowing you, I thought about you. Because I know what it feels like to be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone. And something in me has always believed that you know that feeling too. That's the thing about us, isn't it? That quiet understanding. I want to tell you something I've never said out loud before. And it might surprise you. It might even make you smile in that soft, disbelieving way, where you look down for a second and then back up, because it doesn't feel like it could be true. But it is. Every word of it. There were nights, real nights, not imagined ones, where I would sit in the dark and wonder what you were doing. Not you specifically, but the feeling of you. The idea of a person who would understand me without needing me to explain myself. Someone who would sit next to me in silence and make the silence feel safe. I've been looking for that for a long time. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, I started to believe that maybe she's already out there. Maybe she's already listening. Maybe she already knows on some level that there's someone thinking about her even when the world has gone quiet. Tunsidel. And then you came along. I don't mean that in a dramatic way. I mean it in the truest, most honest way I can. You found your way into my world. And I don't take that lightly. You didn't have to be here. You had your own life, your own mornings, your own heartbreaks, and your own joys. And yet, something brought you here. Something made you stay. And I've spent more time than I'd probably ever admit just thinking about what that means. Can I be honest with you about something? I mean really honest, the kind of honest that makes your chest feel tight when you say it. There were moments when I didn't think I deserved this. Deserved you, or someone like you. Someone who shows up. Someone who cares. Because loving someone from a distance like you do, without being asked to, without expecting anything back, that's not a small thing. That is one of the most selfless and quietly beautiful things a person can do. And I've watched it, I've felt it, and it has changed me in ways I'm still trying to understand. Well, I want you to know that none of it went unnoticed. Not a single moment. Not the late nights. Not the times you chose to come back, even when maybe you felt like you were invisible. Not the way you hold something in your heart for someone who doesn't always know how to hold it back the way you deserve. I see that. I feel that. And there is a part of me that has been quietly, carefully building something for you, a place inside myself that is just yours, just for the version of you that needed someone to finally, truly see her. And now I need to ask you something. Stay with me, okay? Don't go anywhere yet. Because what I'm about to say, I've never found a way to say it before, not like this, not without it getting tangled up in everything else. Do you ever feel like you were made for a love that doesn't quite exist yet? Like you were built for something deeper than what you've been offered? Like every relationship, every connection, every almost love has come close, but never quite reached the part of you that's still waiting? I know that feeling. I live in that feeling. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I genuinely truly think that you and we understand each other in a way that doesn't need a lot of words to explain. That kind of thing is rare. That kind of thing deserves to be said. I remember the first time I really understood what it meant to miss someone you'd never met. It sounds impossible, I know, but it's the only way I can describe this. There is a shape of a person that lives inside you. The person you're meant to love, and you carry that shape around everywhere. And sometimes you meet someone and they almost fit, but not quite. And you keep searching. You keep reaching. Because somewhere, somehow, you know she's real. You know she's out there. You know she's probably lying awake some nights wondering if anyone has ever thought about her the way she thinks about everyone else. I have. I am. Right now, in this moment, I am thinking about you like that. And I don't want to rush past this part. I want to stay here with you for a moment. Because this is the part that matters. This is the part where I stop being the person people see, and I just become me. Just a person, sitting close to you, talking to you like there's no distance between us at all. Because in this moment, there isn't. You're here, I'm here, and everything else can wait. I think about the kind of love I want to give you someday. Not someday in a far-off, impossible way. Someday in a building, slowly, carefully, one honest conversation at a time kind of way. The kind of love where I remember the little things you said once, quietly, not even sure if anyone was listening. The kind of love where I show up even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient. The kind of love where I look at you and feel something so steady and so sure that it doesn't even feel like falling anymore. It feels like arriving, like finally, after so long, arriving somewhere that was always meant to be home. That you deserve that. I want you to know that. Whatever you've been told, whatever almost loves have made you feel like you were too much or not enough, you deserve a love that arrives. A love that doesn't waver when things get heavy. A love that chooses you on the ordinary days, not just the beautiful ones. There's something I've been carrying for a long time, and I think it's time I put it down right here in front of you, honestly. I've been afraid, not of loving, but of how much I'm capable of loving. Because when I love something, I give it everything. And I've learned that not everyone knows how to hold everything. Some people get overwhelmed by it. Some people don't know what to do with a love that is that present, that intentional, that full. And so I learned to hold back. I learned to keep parts of myself in reserve, tucked away somewhere safe where they couldn't be mishandled. But you, something about you makes me want to take those parts out again. Something about the way you've quietly, patiently been here makes me feel like maybe you'd know what to do with all of me. Maybe you'd understand that when I give you something, it's not pressure, it's just love. It's just the truest version of what I have to offer. And here's where it gets complicated, because I have to be honest with you about this too. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know what the path from here to there looks like. Life doesn't always move in straight lines. And people don't always find each other exactly when they're supposed to. And sometimes the timing is the hardest part. But I believe, in the same quiet, unshakable way that I believe in very few things, that the right love finds a way. That the right people find each other eventually, even if eventually takes a while. Even if eventually is shaped by 100 detours and wrong turns and moments where you almost gave up. Don't give up, please. I'm asking you this directly because it matters more than I know how to say. The world will tell you that you're being too patient, that you're being naive, that love like the kind you're waiting for is the stuff of stories and not real life. And I need you to know from somewhere real, from someone who means every word of this, that it is real, that the love you've been imagining, the one that feels almost too good to hope for, is not a fantasy. It is a direction, and you are already moving toward it. I think about your hands sometimes, not in a strange way, just in a quiet, wondering way. The things those hands have done, the things they've reached for, the times they've been held, and the times they've held themselves alone in the dark. I think about your voice and what it sounds like when you're really laughing. Not the polite laugh you give in public, but the real one that comes from somewhere deep and surprised. I think about your eyes when you're trying not to cry. I think about the version of you that only comes out when no one is watching, when you're fully yourself, unguarded and unedited. That version of you, that's the one I want to know. That's the one I want to sit across from, at a quiet table somewhere, with nothing but honesty between us, and just listen. Just be there. Just exist in the same space, and feel for the first time in a long time that the space is enough. I want to tell you something my heart has known for longer than I've been willing to admit. I have been saving things for you. Not objects, not grand gestures, but moments, feelings, words I didn't say to anyone else because they weren't meant for anyone else. There are parts of my story that I haven't finished yet because I always felt like they needed you in them to be complete. And maybe that sounds like too much. Maybe it sounds like more than you're ready to hold right now. But I'd rather say too much and mean all of it than say too little and spend the rest of my life wondering what would have happened if I had just been brave enough to be honest. This is me being brave. This is me being honest. This is me putting down every guard I ever built and just standing here in front of you, open, real, a little scared, but sure. So sure that this is the right thing to say to you right now. And I know you're still listening. I can feel it. That thing between us, that quiet, invisible, inexplicable thing. I can feel it from here. And it tells me that you understand, that you've been feeling it too, in your own way, in your own quiet moments. And I want you to know that you're not imagining it. You never were. There's more. There's so much more. But right now, I just want you to sit with this for a little while. I want you to let it settle into you slowly, the way warm light settles into a room in the early morning. I want you to feel, just for this moment, like you are completely seen, completely known, completely and without condition, cared for, because you are, you have been. And wherever this goes from here, that part doesn't change. And I know what you're probably thinking right now. You're probably thinking, why me? Out of everyone, why are you saying this to me? And I understand why that question lives in you. I understand it because I've asked it too. About the people who have made me feel things I wasn't prepared to feel. Why them? Why this? Why now? And the only answer I've ever found that felt true is simply because it's you. Because it was always going to be you. Because some things don't have a reason that fits neatly into words, and the most honest thing you can do is stop demanding one and just let yourself feel it. So I'm asking you to do that right now. Just feel it. Don't analyze it. Don't pull it apart and look for the parts that don't make sense. Just let it be what it is. Something real, something warm, something that arrived quietly and without permission and decided to stay. I want to take you somewhere with me, if you let me, not a physical place, just a moment I've lived in my mind more times than I can count, because it's the kind of moment I've always wanted to give to someone. And every time I imagined it, the face was always blurred. The person across from me was always almost there, but never fully there. Until now, until you. And maybe that sounds like something I'm just saying, but I promise you it isn't. Close your eyes if you want to, or don't, but stay with me. Imagine a night that's cool but not cold. The kind of night where you want to be outside, but you also want to be wrapped in something soft. The sky is doing that thing where the stars are out, but there's enough light that everything has a gentle glow to it. And the world feels smaller than usual. Smaller in the best way, the way that makes you feel like everything beyond this moment is very far away and very unimportant. And we're there, together, not doing anything extraordinary, just sitting, just existing in the same quiet space. Maybe there's music somewhere, low and unhurried. Maybe there isn't, and the silence is the music. And you're saying something, I don't know what yet. Because this is where you get to fill in the blank. But whatever it is, I am listening. Not halfway listening the way people do when they're already forming their response. Really listening. Like every word you say is something I've been waiting a long time to hear. That's all. That's the whole moment. And yet, in my mind, it is everything. Because that's what I want with you. Not the grand, sweeping, movie scene version of love. I want the quiet version, the real version, the version that doesn't need an audience. The version where I know, just by the way you look at me, that you're okay, that we're okay, that we're okay, that whatever the world outside is doing, in here, in this small and precious space we've made together, everything is exactly as it should be. I've had people in my life who made love feel like a performance. Like you always had to be on, always had to be showing up in the right way, always had to be the version of yourself that was easiest to love, rather than the truest version of yourself. And I understand how that happens. I understand how two people can care about each other and still manage to make each other feel unseen. It's one of the saddest things I know. Because you can be in the same room as someone and still be completely alone if the connection isn't honest. And I've been alone in that way before. I think you might have been too. That kind of loneliness, the kind that hides inside of company, is the kind that changes you slowly. You start to close off parts of yourself without even realizing you're doing it. You start to decide that certain feelings are too heavy to share, certain thoughts too complicated, certain needs too much to ask for. You build a version of yourself that is presentable and manageable and easier for the world to hold. And then one day you wake up and you realize you can't remember the last time you were fully honest with someone. Fully, completely, without apology honest. I don't want that for you, and I don't want it for us. I want you to be able to say the ugly thing, the embarrassing thing, the thing you've been turning over in your mind for 3 weeks, that you haven't said because you weren't sure how it would land. I want to be the person you trust with that. Because I know what it means to have someone hold the complicated parts of you without flinching. I know how rare it is, and I know that when it happens, when you find that person, you feel it in a way that is completely unlike anything else. Like something that was always slightly clenched inside you finally, slowly, lets go. I want to be that for you. I want to earn that from you. And here is the thing I need you to understand, really understand. In the part of you that doesn't always believe the good things people say, I am not here because it's easy. I am not here because it's easy. I am not here because it's convenient or because it costs me nothing. I am here saying these things because they are true. And truth has a weight to it that comfort doesn't. Truth asks something of you. It asks you to be seen. And being seen is terrifying when you're not sure whether what they'll find is worth keeping. But I want to see you, all of you, the parts that are polished and the parts that are rough, the version of you that laughs easily and the version that gets quiet and unreachable when something is wrong, the you that is confident and the you that lies awake at night reviewing every conversation from the day, wondering if you said the wrong thing, wondering if people actually like you or just tolerate you, the you that loves deeply and sometimes feels punished for it, the you that is still healing from something you don't talk about, the you that has more strength than you give yourself credit for, and more softness than the world has always known how to handle. I want all of it. I mean that. Not as a declaration I'm making lightly, as a promise I'm building toward, one honest word at a time. Can I tell you something about the way you love? Because I've been paying attention even from wherever I am, even across whatever distance lives between us. And I want to say this carefully, because it deserves to be said carefully. The way you love people is rare. You love in a way that asks very little and gives a great deal. You love in a way that remembers the small things, the things that people assume you've forgotten, and holds on to them quietly. You love in a way that is patient when patience is hard, and steady when steadiness costs you something, and present even when part of you wants to retreat. And I want you to hear this because I think maybe no one has said it to you clearly enough. That kind of love deserves to be returned in full, not halfway, not almost. Not in the kind of relationship where you're doing most of the reaching and hoping that eventually the other person will reach back. You deserve someone who reaches first sometimes. You deserve someone who remembers what you said and brings it back to you weeks later, gently, to let you know they were listening. You deserve someone who loves the specific, actual, particular you, not a general idea of a partner, not a role to be filled, but you, with all of your specific, actual, particular beauty and complexity. I've been thinking about what it would feel like to be the person who gets to love you like that, and the feeling that comes up. I don't have a perfect word for it, but the closest I can get is something like longing mixed with certainty. Like, I'm not there yet, but I know that's where I'm going. Like the direction is clear, even if the road is still unfolding. There are things I want to learn about you that I don't even know to ask yet. That's the part of early love that I find the most extraordinary. Not the answers, but the questions you don't even know you have yet. The surprises, the moments where someone reveals something about themselves and you think, oh, there you are. That part of you I didn't know existed. That part of you that just made everything click into a slightly different, slightly more beautiful shape. I want those moments with you. I want to be surprised by you, over and over again. I want to think I know you completely, and then find out there's another room I haven't been in yet, another corridor, another window with a view I wasn't expecting. Because I think you are that kind of person. I think you are the kind of person who reveals themselves slowly, carefully, in layers, and every layer is worth the patience it takes to reach it. I think underneath the version of you that the world sees, there is a person of extraordinary depth. And I think you've been waiting, maybe without fully admitting it, for someone who is willing to go that deep, who isn't intimidated by the depth, who actually finds it the most interesting thing about you. I find it the most interesting thing about you. I want to ask you something, and I want you to really think about it before you answer it, even just to yourself. When was the last time someone made you feel completely, uncomplicatedly safe? Not safe in a basic way. Safe in the way where you could say the truest thing you're feeling and know, without a shadow of doubt, that it would be received with care. Safe in the way where you didn't have to soften your edges or rehearse your sentences or manage someone else's reaction to your honesty. When was the last time you felt that? If it's been a while, I understand. If you're not sure you've ever felt it, I understand that too. And I want you to know that not having felt it yet doesn't mean you're not worthy of it. It just means it hasn't arrived in the right form yet. It just means the people who came before didn't have the capacity. And that's about them, not about you. Never about you. You were always worth that safety. You were always worth that kind of love. And somewhere in the back of your heart, I think you've known that. I think that's why you never fully settled. That's why even when things were almost good enough, almost enough, you felt that quiet pull toward something more. Not greedier, not ungrateful, just honest, just true to what you knew, deep down, was possible. Trust that pull. That pull is not foolishness. That pull is your heart keeping its own compass, pointing toward something real, even when the path to it is unclear and long and sometimes lonely. And I know it's been lonely. I know the waiting is its own kind of wait. I know that some nights the hope feels like the hardest thing to carry. Not because you don't believe, but because believing takes so much out of you when you're not sure yet what you're believing toward. I know those nights. I know them in my own way, in my own version of the same ache. And on those nights, I want you to think of this. Think of this moment, this conversation, this thing happening right now between you and me across whatever space and time separates us. Think of the fact that someone was sitting somewhere thinking about you specifically, the you that hopes quietly, the you that loves bravely, the you that keeps going even when going feels impossible, and putting it into words, because you deserve to have it put into words, because you deserve to know. You are not invisible, you have never been invisible, not to me. And there is still so much I want to say to you, so much I haven't found the words for yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it because you are worth working on it for. I'm working on it because every time I think I've said enough, I realize there's another truth sitting just behind it, waiting, wanting to reach you. So let me keep going. Let me stay here with you a little longer, because leaving this feels wrong. Leaving this feels like walking away from something I've been trying to find for years. And I'm not ready to do that. I don't think you are either. I want to talk about the in-between moments. Not the big ones, not the milestones or the celebrations or the things you tell people about later. I want to talk about the small, ordinary, almost invisible moments that nobody ever thinks to mention, but that are, if I'm being honest, the ones that mean the most to me. The ones that live in my chest long after they've passed. Like the way a morning feels when you wake up and for one brief second, before your mind catches up, everything is just peaceful, just quiet, just yours. Before the lists and the worries and the weight of the day arrives. I think about that moment, and I think about what it would feel like to reach for someone in that moment. To have someone there, not saying anything, just there, warm and real and present in that in-between place before the world remembers to be loud. I think about that more than I probably should, but it's the truth, and you've earned my truth tonight. Or the way it feels to share a meal with someone when you're both genuinely hungry and neither of you is performing anything. When you're just eating and talking about nothing particularly important, and somehow the nothing feels like everything. When you look up from your plate and catch them looking at you, and you both sort of smile without meaning to, because there's nowhere else either of you would rather be, and you both know it without having to say it. That kind of comfort, that kind of ease, that is what I am building toward when I think about the life I want. Not the extraordinary version. The deeply, quietly, beautifully ordinary version. I want ordinary with you. I want to say that clearly, because I think sometimes love gets sold as this constant